No matter how old we get, I don't think we can tire of a good Bible story. We enjoyed them as kids, if you were a Christian or went to Sunday school and you were a kid. And now as an adult, we have so much to learn about the principles of God's Word through listening and hearing and reading Bible stories. There's a beautiful story about a Moabite woman named Ruth, and that is the story we're going to look into today. This is Carol Graham with Praying for Miracles with Carol. Don't forget, if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. And also don't forget to pick up your copy of Pray the Answer, Not the Problem. If you are struggling in any area of your life, not only does this book give you instructions, but every chapter is a miracle story that'll make you jump for joy and to learn how to apply the principles of God's truth to your situation and realize the miracle you are waiting for. Now, in the natural, Ruth had everything going against her. She was a poor widow. She was a Moabitess, a Gentile in the Jewish nation of Israel. After her husband died, she remained with her mother-in-law, Naomi. She left her family to follow Naomi back to Bethlehem and make Naomi's God her God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now, Naomi and Ruth could not afford to buy grain, and Ruth had to go out to the field to perform the menial task of gleaning whatever the reapers left behind. This was probably demeaning as well as hard labor. But it was necessary in order for her and Naomi to have food to eat. But Ruth had a great attitude. And Ruth told Naomi, "Please let me go to the field and glean the heads of grain after him in whose sight I might find favor." That's in Ruth 2:2. She knew that God would bless her for what she is doing in this menial task. There was no doubt. She knew that the blessings of God were on her. So Ruth was confident that God would give her the favor that she would need, even though she was a foreigner. So she had like a mind shift in her thinking when she went to live with Naomi. She didn't have any connections with anybody. She didn't have any pull in the fields. She didn't even know which part of the field she would be able to glean in. This was all very green territory for her. In Ruth 2:3, it says she went and came and gleaned in the field after the reapers, and her hap, H-A-P, was to light on a part of the field belonging unto Boaz, who was the kindred of Elimelech. Of all the spots in the field that Ruth could have wandered into, she came upon the part of the field that belonged to Boaz. Now this is where it gets very romantic and very exciting. He was a man of great wealth, and he also happened to be Naomi's relative. Now, hap, let's look at that word for a minute. Hap, H-A-P, is an old English word which means to happen, to be at the right place at the right time. Isn't that how God works in our lives? Blesses us, and we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we are in the right place at the right time to receive the blessing that God has promised us. Now, in the original text, the root of the word is spelled Q-A-R-A-H, and it is pronounced Hara, which means right happening. When Ruth trusted in God's unmerited favor, she quarried or happened to come to the part of the field that belonged to Boaz. There are no mistakes in God. When we learn to trust Him and that He will lead us and guide us into where we should be, we will reap the benefits that He has already planned for us. Now, Boaz saw Ruth, and he fell in love with her, and he married her. Now, before this point, Ruth was probably at her lowest point in her life, but her life was about to change very, very quickly. All the natural factors that had been against her were no longer a factor, because she chose to put her trust in the Lord, who put her in the right place at the right time, and her situation completely turned around. I hope that you are relating to this story and remembering the times that God had you in the right place at the right time. And don't forget in the darkness, if you're going through any kind of darkness, don't forget in the darkness what He has shown you in the light. Another part of this story that is so exciting is that she became one of the few women who were mentioned in the genealogy of Jesus. In Matthew 1:5, it states that Boaz begot Obed by Ruth. What an honor to be included into that genealogy of Jesus Christ. Talk about being in the right place at the right time. You can have the confidence in the unmerited favor of Jesus, and He will give you the Hara success. He will cause you to be positioned at the right place at the right time to experience His protection, His success for you in your relationships, your career, and your finances. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Take a look at my website, prayingmiracles.com, and share these stories to encourage someone else. Thank you.